So as the girls were growing up, granted you were starting on a new career as a psychic back in the time with the first psychic hotlines opened up, and then later you started your crystal work and your wire wrapping and all of that. We'll talk about more about that in another episode. But with your raising of the girls, what worked best for you and what didn't work? Or did you even try to work the intuitive
went with it.
side?
I was so clueless. I was just trying to stay on top of feeding the guys, you know? No, I did try and always keep them aware and keep them conscious and let them know what I knew. And then it was up to them what they were going to do with it. You know? Like with Holly, our youngest one, she was our cloud buster. You know, we'd have a plan to go to Renaissance Fair, which was notorious for getting afternoon thunderstorms. And it's like, okay, Holly, you know, bust those clouds till we're done. And sure enough, we'd have a ring all the way around us. You know, and until we were ready to leave, it would not rain. And then it'd have a downpour. But we were out of there by then. And so she did that kind of stuff. Heidi, it's interesting. I found out from my daughter Heidi, she's always kind of tried to keep her distance, you know, the crazy mom stuff. It's like with the herbalist daughter we were just talking about.
Gisela.
Yeah, Gisela, yeah. She wanted nothing to do with it. The girls really aren't that into it yet. Heidi does have dreams that come true like I do. In fact, she called me one day going, Mom, is Holly pregnant? And not that I know of. Why? She goes, I had a dream about it. And I'm kind of going, okay. She's going, well, sometimes those things come true when they're that vivid. And I said, oh, you do that like I do. Yeah. Okay. But that's as far as she takes it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know every person has within them their timing for the awakening. And as we see it go through the mass consciousness, subjects that would have been very difficult to talk about 20 years ago
are normal,
are much easier. And then as I did my interview with Gisela yesterday, and we're talking about Hannah Kroger, she started the first health food store in 1953.
Yeah.
That's like a different
planet.
Yes,
it is.
But these kids today are growing up on a different planet.
Yeah.
And they're coming in for, in essence, the new Earth.
Yes.
And a whole new different vibration.
Yep.
So you have one granddaughter.
Yeah.
How do you help her more than your daughters? How do you help your granddaughter and see her path? Because she was adopted by your best friend.
Yep.
At a time when one of your daughters was at a very low place. So she's with your best friend, who also is a reasonable intuitive, not at your level. And how are you guys working with her?
Actually, just really keep her open. When she gets things and wants to talk about them, we both listen. And again, not telling her she's crazy or it's her imagination. And Julie's actually been able to really help her process through some of her past life stuff at a much earlier age than we even thought about starting. I mean, she's just hitting 12. She started doing her processing work and working through all those old past life emotional things when she was 5 or 6.
Give us an example.
Oh, God.
Do you remember some of the good stories?
Let's see. I think one of them was where she was, it's like she was surrounded by some really, really dark energies in another life, and they were trying to still attach to her this lifetime. And so Julie actually had to go in and show her how to set up her shields of light and how to cut cords with them.
Now, was that the one where the teacher had seen the drawings she was drawing at school were very dark?
Yeah.
And the teacher had called home and said something, and that kind of set the thing.
The tone.
So you started teaching her how to shield herself.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was only 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Well, what did you use?
Light. Just light.
Just a bubble of light?
Yeah.
type thing?
Basically bringing light from the greater central sun, bringing another beam up from the earth. You have it meet in the heart, and it's almost when they meet, that those light beams are almost like a planet going, sun going supernova.
Yeah.
And it just explodes and put this wonderful bubble around you. And so we showed her how to do that. We showed her how to put a mirror on the outside so that other people's stuff, because she's very empathic and sometimes she picks up on other people's emotions. And
Sometimes?
a lot of times. And so we're trying to teach her how to differentiate what's hers and what's not.
Talk to me. What are you doing with that? How are you doing?
Again, telling her how to learn how to shield, what stones work to set up a shield, like sugilite is a really good one. It's a stone of love, but when you're an empath, it also puts up a nice force field so you don't feel everybody else's stuff.
And the problem with an empath, and it's such a good subject because I would say 80 to 90% of the new kids coming in have an increased empathic capability because we're moving in a time frame we're connecting to all things.
And we're in a much higher vibration.
I have to be sensitive
Yeah.
to be connected to all things. And unfortunately, the environment in the school, the standards classroom is cinder block walls.
Yeah.
And you put 30 empaths in a little room. Cinder block walls are holding everything in, and you're told you cannot move.
Yeah.
And the child is picking up the teacher's stuff who's stressed.
Oh, yeah.
So the more stressed, the more that's going to come out. They're picking up John's stuff, Susie's stuff,
Everybody's
Jill,
stuff.
on
Yeah.
down the line. And unless an empath understands that's not mine and can kind of keep it out, early on they may internalize it and wonder why I'm feeling this bad.
Yeah.
And it's not theirs.
No.
So learning all of that is part of learning to be an empath.
Yes, it is.
Is in
Yeah.
essence. And it's not taught
No.
to the kids.
No, it's not.
So once again, the shielding tends to work, but once someone has, in essence, internalized to some degree a particular energy, how do you have them clear it?
Actually,
Just send it back, or
have them go in and look where it comes from and follow the thread back, and then cut that thread once because sometimes you need to kind of know what's going on. So I have people follow the thread.
So, but as a clairvoyant, you're naturally able to see the
Yeah.
energetics and the threads.
Yeah.
Other people may not. They may feel it. They may just try to get a sense. Sometimes when I'm doing a meditation, I'll ask for a particular color.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking then within my own intuitive insight for that color, and then, that works. But I don't naturally see the energy or the auric field
Right.
as much as they. Now, you did some interesting things with the girls when you brought them home from school.
Yeah, we would brush off the energy.
You would get the school off of them.
Yes, I would. And it was just a matter of energy balancing, just pulling the energy off of them and kind of...
So you would sit them down,
Yep.
and you're able to see the energy.
Yeah.
So how would a parent do it if they're not as adept at seeing?
Well,
Just
it's
trying to
interesting
allow a
because
sense?
allowing, but too, also, a lot of times when you're doing this to somebody's aura, you can feel hot spots and warm spots. And those, it's almost like you want to grab them and just kind of pull them off and see them disappear into a violet flame.
And you would use Saint Germain's
Yes.
violet flame
Yes.
as a
Yeah.
receptacle,
Yeah.
and the energy would transmute instead
Yeah.
of obviously
Yeah.
collect here.
Yeah. Now, too, as they got older, it's like, Mom, leave me alone. So what I would do, it's like, I'd wait to smudge my house till they got home. Because as the teenagers, Mom, leave me alone. Fine. So I'd just be smudging.
And that would be how you would handle it.
Yeah.
with the
Or
smudge
I'd go
whatever.
through, I've got a chime also that I would clear with sound. It's like, oh, time to clear the house. It just happened to be when they got home from school.